Hello my friends and welcome to episode 62 of The Wanderer. We're back with Heart, and what form we have had since the last episode. Last episode we lost 3-1 to Liverpool. Since then we beat St Johnstone 3-0, Jack Henry scoring and a brace from Federun. And Ali Crawford unfortunately got injured in this game and is out for a number of months. We then played Rangers, and with the help of Callum Smith and 2 Rangers own goals. One was deflected shot, and one Mohamed Fahim tried to clear it, bounced off his own man and went in the back of the net. It was our second 3-0 win in 2. Then we played Dundee, and we weren't quite as good here, but we did come away with a 2-0 win. Z Gomez and Callum Smith both on the score sheet there. And then we beat Motherwell, bottom of the league, 2-0. Callum Smith and James Tavernier on the score sheet there. Today we take on Aberdeen, and it's a big game for the league, or at least it was before this run. I mean, we've not conceded a league goal since Hibs, which is 4 league games ago, which is kind of helpful. Celtic's form dipped, which puts us right back in the title hunt. We've now gone ahead of Rangers on goal difference, which is helpful. Celtic still have 3 games in hand, but defeats recently to Dundee and Hamilton have put them 7 points behind us, if my maths is correct. It is, with 3 games in hand now. They can still go top of the league, but they'll only be 2 points ahead of us now instead of the 12 that they were potentially ahead of us at one point. So we've put ourselves back, not just in the Champions League hunt, but in the title chasing run. We do play one of the most prolific attacking teams in the league in Aberdeen. John Daly's got the best out of Mason Bennett and Stevie May up top, so we are expecting a much tougher game than recent games. Hopefully we can get a win. So we're now pitch side. We've got Freddie Woodman in goal. He's got some interest for him in January. He's got 18 months left on his deal. I'm going to hold off till after January to renew that, on the basis of it's harder to get a player to renew his contract when there's interest in him, particularly from big clubs down south. Say big clubs, Stoke's the team in question, but I don't want an English club to be sniffing around when I'm trying to do contract negotiations. We've got Tavernier at right back. He played really well in the last couple of games, so I'll put him in again. Tivetinov still probably my preferred, but I'm rewarding his fine form. Patev, Suter and Finlayson take off the rest of the defence, with Young, Baronis, Hedges, Walker, Smith and Z Gomez rounding off the team. It's the same team that faced Motherwell, and hopefully we can do that. So I want to see a good result here. Hopefully we can get it. I did get linked with the Ipswich job. And basically said I'm not interested, but I thought, do you know what, that's the kind of jobs we're getting linked with in the media without applying. Let's see what other jobs are kind of there. So I did apply for the Spurs job. I knew I was never ever going to get a chance to get it, but it was more of a curiosity of seeing where we are in sort of what kind of jobs we can actually attract right now. So Spurs, struggling season, mid-table in the Premiership. I thought it's an interesting proposition. Not going to get an offer, at least I wouldn't think so. As Callum Smith always missed a sitter. I don't think we would get it. We didn't even get an interview, but it was kind of just one of those curiosity things. There was a few jobs that if I wasn't staying with Hearts, I'd have been quite happy to look at. Parma again, Club Bruges, and there was, I think it was Basel, kind of teams that I'd been interested in, but we've signed a new contract with Hearts, and I'm very excited to go come and build something here, as Jamie Walker takes a slice at that, sending it well over the bar. Haven't been doing position instructions or shouts as recently, and I feel like we've played better since I stopped that, so hopefully that does improve. And again, that's a penalty, clear penalty there, as Kyle Naughton trips Callum Smith, who I think is stepping up to take this, if I'm right in thinking who number 7 is. No, it's Jamie Walker. And Walker does slot home. I think that actually might be his first goal of the season after that injury. Apparently not, it's not said down the bottom, so I'm maybe forgetting one somewhere. But hopefully it's all good. They've got a bit of tiredness in their team, we've got a bit of tiredness in ours. I think we are a slightly fitter team. Celtic drawing to Motherwell. Their form's really not good. It was 2 losses on the bounce before playing at bottom of the league Motherwell. But Motherwell, as much as I didn't think we played our best against Motherwell, they didn't do anything to threaten us at any point. As Z Gomez, and I feel Z Gomez of last season would have buried that 10 times out of 10. Hedges into Baronis into Grant Young, maybe not the player that you wanted to fall to. Baronis, Hedges on the rebound, following in the Welsh international, cementing why I've brought him back into the team over Caviglia. Caviglia is better when he's out wide. Hedges, as much as I'm playing him as a winger, still drifts in a little bit and he creates chances and brings defenders out of position. And with Tavernier in particular on the right hand side, we've got an attacking fullback that allows him to do that. So even though he's not playing that role, he's naturally just like that. Good first half for us though. Rangers winning and Celtic drawing. And Partick Thistle game. I don't think it's of too much relevance anymore. I'm going to just say, don't look at the scoreboard and pick up where he is left off. I think that's a good sort of team talk. I like that one. It's not saying don't get complacent, it's just saying continue what you're doing, kind of thing. Tavernier with the throw in to Jamie Walker. Comes down the wing, back into Jamie Walker, crosses towards the middle, but it's cleared away. Grant Young. Cross to Patev, Baronis, Walker, Z Gomez. Interesting choice of pass back to Grant Young, but Young happy to receive and playing in a nice little triangle with Baronis and Walker. Hedges involved now as well. Callum Smith comes in. I really wasn't convinced with him earlier in the season, but he's certainly the last sort of 5-10 games he's really came onto something and added something to us in that role. He's getting a bit of consistent game time now, of course, which is helping. Always find players tend to do better when given consistent game time. As Celtic go 2-1 up against Motherwell, they've eventually started to see them off by the looks of it. Smith down to Baronis. That's a poor pass from Jamie Baronis. Mason Bennett towards Stevie Mate. John Suter steps in well against the league's top goal scorer. Kyle Naughton knocks in there. Dazelle towards Mason Bennett. Out to Scott Wright, who is tiring, towards Stevie May. Cleared away and headed on by Callum Smith. Out to Kirby. And again to Stevie May. Every time I see him at the top goal scorers list, by the way, I was like, the first season that we could have signed him on a free contract, and I turned it down because I just didn't like his stats, and it keeps making me wonder, maybe I should have. Billy Bowman getting some game time as well. Jamie Walker just struggling to see out matches, so letting him have some game time. But it always makes me wonder why I didn't sign Stevie, mate. And at the same time, I look at him and I'm thinking to myself, he might be top goal scorer in the league, but the reality is, he'd have just been like Louis Moult was for us, just sitting on the bench waiting for a spot. And even then, now that we've got Federoom, I'm not even sure he would get onto the bench. So as much as he's doing a really, really good job in an Aberdeen shirt, I'm not convinced he would do anywhere near that kind of job in a Hearts shirt. So as much as we've not signed him and we've got a rival striker to compete against Z Gomez, I think it's working out okay for us. We've got one more sub left, and I'm just trying to work out. I think we're going to bring Caviglia on and just give Hedges a little rest. I mean, we've not got a game for a little while, I don't think. I can't remember our full schedule, but I think this sort of starts to ease it. Do have a deal in place for attacking midfielder, because I think both Cochrane and Ali Crawford are out for 3 months. So I signed a young lad that was recommended to me by the scouts that happened to just come up. Portuguese. Is Z Gomez, that's in the back of the net from the Portuguese international. Talking of Portuguese players, was recommended as Portuguese youngster. It was going to cost 15k to 30k. I can't remember the deal. I think they actually overpaid slightly based on the scout report. However, when I'm saying that, it did say work permit's going to fail, and I know there's this bug, and it's a game breaking bug where I thought, well, actually, if it fails, it doesn't really matter because you can still play it. I've seen it with Mark Al. We've got the boy that's out on loan. He failed his and can still play if we needed him to. And I thought, why not try it? And we've got him basically. He's a 17, 18-year-old kid for very little money. I thought if it goes wrong and it doesn't let us play him, it doesn't matter. We'll loan him out. He'll develop. But it brings me on to the point of, I shouldn't be able to have that mentality of, it doesn't matter if he gets a work permit or not, I can still play him. It's a completely game-breaking bug that work permits are not working, and it really, really needs to be looked into. But while it's not working, and I'm desperate for an attacking midfielder, I'm going to have to use it because I'm not wanting to spend $2 million to have a guy that's going to sit on the bench, if he even gets onto the bench once they're back. So that's kind of the point I'm at just now. I mean, now the young lad does excite me, so hopefully he comes in, develops, and will become a future player and get citizenship, and it would be all above board anyway. Stephen A, Woodman equal to the SPL's top goal scorer there. We've really responded well to being knocked out from Europe, and I think being able to play a more consistent 11 every week is really helping us. I love having a consistent 11, and I feel players on this game respond better to it. 4-0 win against Aberdeen. Looking at the stats, we've FM'd them a little bit, but can you really FM somebody 4-0? Gary Finlayson getting his man of the match as well. Good to see him putting in a good performance. And looking at their average ratings, you can't really see that we've done anything wrong. So I'm very happy with the result that we had today. Gordo is the guy. Tempted to rename him Grado. Scottish people might get that reference, but Gordo's fine for now. Did Celtic lose? No, they didn't. They eventually did see off Motherwell. Rangers dropping points to Hamilton. No, a 2-2 draw there. 92nd minute equaliser for Hamilton, giving them a point and putting us clear top of the league now, barring Celtic not winning all 3 of their games in hand, of course. I think their games in hand are Hibs, Dundee and Ross County. Pretty sure Dundee was the team that just beat them. Hibs are capable of beating them as well, so there's no guarantee they win all 3 of those. So next episode, I think the logical choice is to come back for Celtic. So if you've enjoyed this episode, hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll hopefully catch you for that Celtic game in the next episode.